And when we move in with Way to Happiness at the highest levels, the impact is magnified dramatically. 1 year ago, civil unrest and riots had become a daily fact of life in Venezuela. But then celebrity Scientologist Rudy Rodriguez launched a Way to Happiness campaign with the support of President Hugo Chavez himself. The Social Services Administration then adopted the Way to Happiness to resolve difficulties with their 50,000 employees and the 700,000 citizens they serve in the nation's hospitals and social institutions. Distribution brought immediate results, with employees calling it the magic book. But this has now moved to the next level, with the first 1,100 employees now trained on applying the precepts, and 200 of their frontline staff now through TRs on the basics of communication, and that's putting an entire nation on the road to decency and sanity with the Way to Happiness. But when you bring the full array of LRH social betterment tech to the highest levels of a government, you come to the kind of story that's unfolding in Honduras. The nation's First Lady has made it her mission to address the growing population of imprisoned women and swelling numbers of abandoned street children. Fueling the problem of drugs, poverty, and the erosion of moral bonds, all of which led her to us. Specifically at the annual Celebrity Center International Open House Gala and its LRH exhibit. She then toured Able International and the Way to Happiness Foundation. Before leaving the building, she designed her own edition with her photo on the cover, had them printed, and took them with her. Within hours, she was on Latin American television telling 1 million viewers she had finally found the solution she'd been looking for in the works of L. Ron Hubbard. Returning to Honduras, she immediately briefed top officials, the president, vice president for education, the minister of justice, at which point she put the Way to Happiness into the primary women's prisons, held a national press conference on Study Tech and Criminon, established a permanent national office to oversee the administration of LRH programs, and that was just for starters, because she hosted a conference of First Ladies of Central America, and she didn't just brief them about LRH solutions, she cut the ribbon on her own LRH exhibition and led the tour. And so, as it stands tonight, requests are pouring in from Panama, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica for our help in implementing solutions, and that's a veritable chain reaction across the whole of Central America, and exactly what we mean by national leaders turning to us to change the lives of millions. Now, let me tell you about this year's campaign, because we are going to move into our next phase of bringing solutions to the planet by duplicating the pattern of Honduras and repeating it everywhere. You've seen how rapidly we can provide solutions to entire governments, and now we're going to tie it all together, utilizing the stable points for expansion we've established at Arrowhead, Spanish Lake, and Way to Happiness. We are going to present all our answers to those who influence entire populations, just as we have done traveling What is Scientology exhibits and traveling LRH exhibits. We are rolling out an exhibition that presents all the LRH solutions used by Narconon, Criminon, Applied Scholastics, and Way to Happiness. And that's our new IAS-sponsored campaign, an Able World Solutions exhibition to bring LRH tech right into the governments of Earth. We're going to bring our new exhibit right to the capitals of major cities and states around the world and show them our programs. The displays include our international facilities, the real solutions, how and why they work, and the statistics and results of Narconon, Applied Scholastics, the Way to Happiness, and Criminon. It shows just what we can do to solve the problems confronted by officials around the world. This exhibit includes audio-visual presentations on what these programs mean in terms of results and lives saved. The exhibition is also about getting them to do themselves. And that's why we'll be conducting seminars on implementation of our programs in each location right at the exhibit. ABLE will take this exhibit to key cities across the globe beginning in January. A new city every 2 weeks. Washington, D.C., Sacramento, Seattle, Portland, Albany, New York, Harrisburg and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Boston, Chicago, Des Moines, Iowa, Stockholm, Oslo, London, Berlin, Geneva, Prague, Budapest, Copenhagen, Moscow, Sao Paulo, Costa Rica, Honduras, Dakar and Senegal, Libreville, Gabon, Abuja, Nigeria, and New Delhi, India, 26 cities in all, and we are timing them to coincide with regional and international conferences like the gathering of U.S. mayors or the heads of the EU countries. So by going to those cities, we will reach officials from more than 80 nations. In addition, we're also bringing the exact solutions right to the desks of leaders everywhere with a brand new series of publications, World Solutions for the 21st Century. They are designed specifically to enlighten leaders on each of our social betterment programs with the facts, studies, and official evaluations, as well as testimonials on results and how they can establish those programs. We'll distribute them to the exact officials who make the decisions. And as for how it all adds up, it moves out like this. ABLE sets up its exhibition putting LRH Tech front and center. The government send trainees to Spanish Lake, Arrowhead, and the Way to Happiness. They graduate, return to their country, and implement the technology. And now able to train others, they begin new activities through their nations. And so it goes, with the tour moving to another city and the cycle repeating and more groups being established. And as we move out across the globe, so does LRH's Tech. And that's our ABLE World Solutions exhibition for 2005. So there you have our next IAS-sponsored crusade and the start of our biggest reach with the tech ever into governments, all of which underscores these words from LRH. Utilize our gains and indoctrinate those about you in the knowledge, courage, and activity necessary to bring all of us up to and through this new day which has begun for Earth. The 2,000-year cycle of ignorance, cruelty, and bloodshed is over. We mark a new era. Remember that. To LRH.